Hi, I'm Gail from Enrichment Coaching and I'm the CEO and founder, although I prefer CEO as Chief Enrichment Officer. And welcome to this short bite-sized edition of the Confidence Conversations podcast. The aim of these is to bring you some context around some of the topics that have been discussed with my guests in Series 1 of the Confidence Conversations podcast. And something that comes up quite a lot, time and time again in coaching, and actually in the podcast too, is this idea of comparisonitis or the comparison trap. Now, it's something that I've battled with, especially in the early days of setting up enrichment coaching. I was looking at other coaches and wondering why they were so busy with clients and why I had none. Of course, I know that social media is the show reel of life and that it was giving me that perception, but the comparisonitis was a real feeling and a real emotion. Now, Theodore Roosevelt is famously quoted as saying, "Comparison is the thief of joy," and I, for one, think that she was right. Now, Melanie Griffiths and I talk about comparisonitis in episode 8 of the podcast and how social media comparison affects our confidence. We forget in the moment that people are often only posting about the good times and the best of what they are doing, the stuff they want us to see, the perception they want us to have of them. Melanie has a great way of dealing with this and she calls it diatribe. She says start listening to yourself and get a practice in place that allows you to unpick all the crap you're telling yourself. Now, yes, this will need practice and you'll need to be strict with yourself, but having a practice in place, that could even be a process where you are able to decompress it all, talk it through with someone, journal it, draw it out, go for a walk, go for a run, go out for a coffee, leave your phone at home, whatever will be beneficial for you. So it got me thinking, and I'm really interested in how we judge our own worth and our own abilities. What standard is it that we use to measure that? What criteria do we have for it? And is that by comparing our abilities and our worth to other people? Is that what we do when we're on social media? Yes, probably. Well, the problem with that is that there is always someone you know or someone you meet, someone you see, someone you listen to, someone on social media who you perceive as being better, more successful, better looking, more capable, or they've done more than you, they have more than you, the list goes on and on and on. You will always find ways that you don't match up to that when you go looking for it. Of course, it's natural to know or to want to know where you fit into the grand scheme of things, but by measuring your worth and your abilities against other people and coming to the conclusion that you don't match up can only lead to those feelings you have of being inferior, being disappointed in yourself, or worse still, feeling a little bit ashamed. How often, though, do we compare ourselves with someone less fortunate than us and consider ourselves blessed? Too often we compare ourselves with someone who has better, has more, better skills, better abilities, more personal qualities, better resources, possessions, etc., etc., etc. We compare what we think is the worst of ourselves to the best we presume about others. You might even go looking for more evidence to support and confirm what you have decided is true. You know, the negative ways that you don't match up, what you don't have, what you can't do, what you think you can't do, or will never be. But these sorts of negative comparisons only create resentment and feelings of unfairness for us. So whilst that all sounds a bit negative, how do we break free from this comparison trap? Well, I've got 4 ways that you can try. You can take action. So the first one is to break free of this negative comparison habit. Ask yourself, how does comparing myself or my situation to others make me feel? If comparisons leave you feeling a bit resentful, they discourage you, they leave you feeling bad about yourself, then clearly it's really not helpful to think like this. So ask yourself, how does comparing myself or my situation to others make me feel? And if that's negative, aim to stop doing it. Even if it's just one small thing you stop doing, build the habit. The second thing is to focus on you. Comparing yourself to someone else puts the focus in the wrong place. Your skills, abilities, contributions and value are entirely unique to you. They can never be fairly compared to anyone else. Your time and effort could be better spent thinking positively about yourself And if you have to compare yourself to anyone, compare yourself to yourself. Focus on what you've done and what you're doing rather than what everyone else has done and is doing. Reflect on those things you've experienced, achieved or overcome. See how far you've come compared to last week, last year, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. And if you've suffered a setback, focus on how you can move forward and gain ground once again. The third point is, instead of comparing yourself to others, be inspired by them. This is quite a difficult one to do. But rather than comparing yourself with other people who you think are better or have more, see others as role models to learn from and inspire you. You need to pick the right people when you do this. When you allow yourself to feel inspired by others, you'll naturally feel more motivated and you'll achieve and do well according to your own abilities, your skills and resources, and not those of others. And then finally, number 4 is to compare less and appreciate more. Be more aware of what you do rather than what compared to others you think you don't have. This is a far more positive direction to take. Identify the things that give you good fortune, the things you're grateful for, and the privileges and qualities you have, and build on them. Maybe journaling could help here for you to think daily about what you're grateful for, or what's enriched you in that day, or what you've achieved. So there's 4 ways to break free of the negative comparison habit. Focus on you. Instead of comparing yourself to others, be inspired by others, and compare less and appreciate more. So if you haven't listened to the Confidence Conversations podcast, go back to the listing. It's available on Apple, on Spotify, and on the Buzzsprout homepage. And have a listen to one of the episodes. And I genuinely love to know what you think. So you can either leave us a review or you can drop me a line at gail@enrichmentcoaching.co.uk.